got this started already. And I thought, oh, this would be a quick, fun little video to show you. It's kind of gray and dreary outside today, so I thought, well, you know what? It's a nice enough soup weather. Fire in the fireplace and soup, something that I enjoy doing all year long, so it doesn't have to be cold for me to be in the mood for those things. So I just boiled a couple of chicken breasts. I'm not going to go to all the trouble to roast them in my electric skillet like I usually do, because a lot of the seasoning from the soup is just going to come from the broth. So this is just a quick, inexpensive, easy way to make a nice chicken noodle soup. So I'm going to let my onions soften in this broth a little bit. We're going to get the broth seasoned, so let's do that. You'll see my standard spice collection come into play here. So we'll have a little salt. A little pepper. Garlic powder. Again, not garlic salt. And I don't want it real garlicky. I just want to enhance the flavors. Some dried parsley. I mean, if I was growing parsley right now, then I would have fresh parsley to put in there. Oh my goodness, I couldn't think of what I did with the lid. A little bit of dill. I really like dill. A little bit of turmeric. And again, you see, I don't measure. You just dump it all in and go. And after, you know, a good 40 plus years of me doing it this way, works out just fine. I'm going to put a little bit of thyme in here. A little dried thyme. I do have some fresh thyme out in the greenhouse, but this was, again, just a little impromptu lunch I thought I would put together for us. Since I'm in a sweater today, it's just cool enough and it's just really gray outside. We're going to let this all boil together to get those onions soft before I put anything else in it. Just get all the seasonings mixed up. It's too hot. I've been boiling the chicken in this water, so it's too hot for me to stick my finger in it. So I'm actually going to do my finger test by licking the spoon. Just need a little more salt. Y'all, I keep hearing a hawk crying around the property. I was going to maybe let the ducks go out onto the back pasture, and I'm just really nervous about that right now. It sounded really close earlier, so I made them all get out of the backyard and go to their duck yard because there's good tree coverage there, at least, to kind of camouflage them. Just getting the salt melted, and do another taste. Nice. Okay, so once that has cooked, oh, I'll probably let that cook for 10 minutes. Let it go to just a, not quite a roiling boil, but let it simmer. And so once that has simmered for a little while, I will add some broken pieces of fettuccine. This makes, you know, when you buy chicken noodle soup, it has the kind of flat, wide noodles in it. So I just break these into like 1.5 inch pieces. and put those in the boiling water. So I cook them, in essence, just like I'm going to cook them if I'm preparing noodles for another dish, and let those boil per the package directions until they're ready. Once the noodles are cooked, so after the noodles are cooked, I will add a can of cream of chicken soup, and about, for this size batch, I'll probably add 3 tablespoons of butter and 3/4 cups of milk, just to make it nice and creamy and rich. That tends to also, when I add those other ingredients, that'll dilute the flavors a little bit. So right now, with the spices I have in it, it's got a much stronger taste, but that'll mellow out then when I add my other ingredients. So as always, I'll be back when I've got when I'm at a point to add some more ingredients. Oh, I did forget. I do add water, so I've just added 4 cups of water to about 4 cups of water to the pot. I just used this little 32-ounce container that had some dog food in it yesterday. Because obviously a soup is a soup because of the stock or the broth that makes up the base of it. So, and I've got my chicken torn up, ready to go in, but I don't put that in until closer to the end because, like a lot of my dishes, I don't want the chicken to just be, you know, cooked to the point that you can't even find it. So right now, again, I'm just letting the onions boil for a little bit or simmer for a little bit so they can get soft, and then I'll start adding more ingredients. I will need to taste that again since I added my spices and then put the water in it, which I just licked the spoon. You can't see behind the scenes here, but it still tastes okay. So we're going to leave it. Obviously, anything can be salted as it's served. So we've just got a couple more minutes for the onions to start doing their thing, and then we will bring it to a good boil to get the noodles done. And once those are cooked, we add those other ingredients. So I usually just break these right into the pan, but I thought, well, I'll just show you what I'm saying. If you get too many at a time, it's really hard to break them. But if you just have a little at a time, then you can break them into these shorter strips. So, again, this bowl is not necessary. I just wanted to show you what I meant when I told you that I break these into like 1.5-inch strips. And I can't tell you how much to use. If you like a lot of noodles, you put a lot of noodles in it. Always keep in mind that the noodles are going to swell up and take up a lot more of the pot and soak up a lot of the broth. But I am going to use about 1/2 of this package. I used the other half for our spaghetti leftovers. I shared a video with you how to make that homemade spaghetti sauce. Check that out if you haven't already seen it. And I froze half of the sauce, and then the other half we ate over the course of a couple of days. If I can get it open. Okay, so I have them all broken up now. We're going to put them in here. I've got my water boiling again. You're going to cook these noodles per the package instructions. So when you cook pasta, you always want to make sure your water's boiling before you put your pasta in. Only exception is rice. If you're cooking rice, you generally put it all in the pan at the same time. The rice starts soaking up the water as soon as it hits because the little grains are pretty small. Yeah, I think that's good. Set my timer. And we'll just let that pasta cook. So my noodles are done. Soup added. You can also use cream of mushroom soup, cream of celery soup. But since it's a chicken noodle soup, I went with just cream of chicken soup. See those noodles in there? I think I have just about the right amount of butter left in this partial stick. So we're just going to put that in there. Once that soup is all blended in and the butter is melted, I'll add the milk. I don't like to add the milk when it's super hot, so once this is all blended, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat down now. When it gets time to eat this, you can just have it with saltine crackers or some crusty French bread. Okay, so we're just going to let this simmer a little while on low, medium low. And again, then when it's not quite so hot, I will add my chicken and the milk. The milk will also help thicken up this base, and it'll be simmering then for maybe another half hour after everything is together, and then we'll be eating it. Okay, I just added my chicken, but I didn't realize that I didn't have enough milk, so Richard is going to bring some milk home, but that's no big deal, because the milk, again, I always add at the last part when the soup is not quite so hot, so it won't curdle. And the longer this can sit and just simmer and let all the flavors blend together, the better. In fact, it's just really good then the next day or two when you warm it up to eat as leftovers. But the chicken's in it, so I just like to give you guys the little step-by-step images so you can see what things are supposed to look like if you want to do my recipe the way I do it. So this is just going to go, I've got it turned down even a little bit more, and we're just going to let that simmer while I wait on the milk to put in it. Alright, I've added the milk. Look at the beautiful color. It's wonderfully creamy, thick. This is good stuff right here. This is some more comfort food. So it's probably been a 3-hour process for me today, but part of that's because I had to wait for Richard to make his errand out to go to the feed store and stop by the grocery store for me to get me some milk. Oh, that's good stuff. If you guys are ever going to be in the neighborhood, shoot me a message, stop by, I'll cook you something for dinner, and you can take home some free duck eggs. Thanks for watching.